Hi guys, welcome back to Honest Straightforward Reviews. In today's episode, I'll be looking at how to best optimize your Windows 10 PC. This is for people who not just game, but also just want their systems to run smoothly while using the least amount of power and reducing any clutter that will be bogging their PC down. Now, before I continue, I'd like to let you guys know this channel completely survives on your subscriptions. So if you like to see more quality content, please do subscribe to this channel. Now, if you find this video useful, please do give it a like, and if you see any of your family or friends that are having problems with their PCs or you think they would benefit from this, please do share it with them so they can unlock the full potential of their PC. Now, before we continue, what I would like you guys to first of all do is do a system restore point. This is very important, as after all these settings have been applied, if you have any issues with them, if you don't like anything about them, you can just simply revert back to how your PC is right now. So this is very easy. You guys don't have to worry about anything. It's very simple and straightforward to follow. You wouldn't have any issues. All right, so first of all, let's create that system restore point. So what I want you guys to do is go into the bottom left and search for system restore. Click on create a system restore, and then up top on the tabs, I want you guys to press system protection. Now, depending on your system, you might have more than one hard drive, which will be ideal. So you want your Windows only to be backed up, so you don't want your games and all that to be backed up. So for example, for myself, I've got it on the C drive, okay, and it says in the brackets it's got system. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is turn it on for that. Click on it, then press config and increase max usage to around 5% and turn on system protection. Then I want you guys to press apply. Okay, then in this screen, I want you guys to click create and then just name it anything you want. I've named it backup, and then press OK. Normally what I want to do is I want to also give some more information on that as well. So I'll say all good, everything's working well, before settings, June 2021 backup, something like that, you know. After it says created, press close and press OK. Now, first of all, I'll start off with the most basic stuff. So let's go through. These are very easy to follow. Even the advanced stuff are very easy. So let's go through the basics first. Now, what I want you guys to do is go down to the left hand corner again, click on your Windows icon and go into settings. Then I want you guys to go into system, and then into notification and actions. What I want you guys to do is just completely turn off everything in here. I've just turned them on so to show you guys. After that, what I want you guys to do is go into focus assist and turning it off as well. Then I want you guys to go into tablet mode, and depending on which sort of Windows you're using, if it's newer or older, the options here are different. So what I want you guys to do is use desktop mode only, or in newer Windows, use desktop mode only has been taken out by never use tablet mode, which is the same thing if you see the wording. So just change it to never use tablet mode. The next option is when the device automatically switches tablet mode on and off, click don't ask me, don't switch, and then turn off any options that are on that page. Now, the next step I want you guys to do is go into multitasking and again turn off everything in here as well. Now, if you're using virtual desktops, you'll know about it and don't mess with this, and you can skip this step. But if you don't know about it, I want you to turn it off and just copy the settings that I have on screen and only the desktop I'm using. Then what I want you guys to do is go into shared experiences and click that off as well for cross devices. Also go into remote desktop. Okay, this is for if you're using it as a remote desktop, or if Microsoft is trying to help you to troubleshoot. If they're not, and if you don't need help, but if they are, they would turn this on and guide you how to turn this on. For now, if you want your system to run really smoothly, turn it off. Now, what I want you guys to do is go into the home button, then go into the personalization tab. Now, here what I want you guys to do is for background, just go to solid colors, okay? It uses a lot of system resources to have a non-solid color. What I like to do is use colors that use the least amount of power. This will ensure that your computer is not chewing through power. So the bright orange, red, and all those colors, they're going to use a lot of power. What I like to do is either go gray or black. Black is my preference. Now, if you want the best performance, you have to do the solid color. Now, next thing you can change is go down to colors and go down and turn off transparency effects. Okay, you can play around with these colors, they don't make a difference. Once you're done with that, click on the home button and go into the apps tab. In your apps tab, go to offline map and turn off meter connections, turn off updates, everything, and then after everything is turned off, delete all maps. Then go to apps for maps, and all the apps here, turn them off. Microsoft Edge, and I've got on my other system, I've got something else, so turn them off. Then go back to the home screen, then go into the gaming screen. Now, as Windows changes and things like that, you would want to look at the tabs. They're a tiny bit different, so just keep that in mind. If you don't see an exact tab, just go through it and they've just changed the name. So for example, game DVR has been changed to capture. So first thing, go into game bar and turn off everything in here. So that's what we're going to be mostly doing throughout these videos, to turn off all the excess stuff. Now when we go into capture or game DVR mode, turn record while I'm playing the game off, everything like that. Put down the video frame rate to 30, sound quality to standard, and record audio while I'm recording a game off as well. Turn the maximum record rate to the lowest, to like 30 minutes or something. Now if you've got TruePlay, turn that off, unless if you're using the Microsoft Xbox app player games. Also, what I want you guys to do is go into game mode and turn that off as well. Now go back to the home screen. Now this is the most important tab in here and the last tab, which is privacy. Go into your privacy tab. When you go into general, just turn everything off here. Then go into diagnostic and feedback. It'll be different, but have it to absolute basic. And then improve ink and typing recognition and tailored experiences, everything. I want you to turn them all off. After you've turned them all off, I want you guys to delete diagnostic data. Then I want you to go to location tab on the left hand side, and then go to turn everything off again as usual, and then change location for this device to off as well. And also delete all your location history as well. Then what I want you guys to do is go into camera, turn off app that access your camera, and also change camera for this device. Get out of there. Once you're done, you don't need to go in there anymore. Now the next steps are pretty easy as well. They will be optimizing your Windows to make sure that it's fully utilizing all the power that it has at its fingertips. So go down to the bottom left hand side on the Windows icon and search for this PC. Right click on this PC and go down to properties. Then go into advanced system settings. Now mine is like this, some people have it different. I've got a screenshot of a different way, which is on the right hand side. Go into advanced settings. Now go into performance settings, and what I want you to do is let Windows decide what's best for you, is go to custom. Okay, after you've gone to custom, I want you to turn everything off except for smooth edges of screen fonts. Leave that on, and show thumbnails instead of icons. So those are the only two I want you guys to enable. After you guys have done that, just click apply and go up top onto the advanced tab. Now this is where you will be playing around with your page memory. What page memory is basically if your system has 16 gigs of RAM and runs, one has 16, the other one has 32. I've done it for both. So if you are running out of memory, it uses your fast SSD to write stuff onto. Now first of all, I want you guys to go into processor scheduling and turn it to performance. Okay, and then go over to the change button, click it. Now in here, what I want you guys to do is turn off automatically manage paging file for all drive sizes. And after that, what I want you to do is anything that says system managed, I want you to turn it off by simply going to no paging file and clicking set. There might be more or less. After you've turned it off, what I want you guys to do is definitely turn on the one that has Windows on it. Okay, so go on to for example, mine is C. Go on to C, and you should normally have your Windows on an SSD. If you've got it on hard drive, it's not a good idea. Now if you've got other hard drives on there, don't touch them. This is not for the hard drive. Leave it on. Hard drives should be none. SSDs should be turned on. So for the system one, turn it on. And now after you've clicked the drive, for example, C has Windows on it, set it to system manage size and then set it. Okay, I don't want you to play around with custom size, and you have to, because there's been a lot of research on this done, that like let's say just turn it off on the drive that's running Windows and do it on a SSD and things like that. It always has performance issues later on down the track. So always what I want you guys to do is leave the Windows one as system managed size and then add a SSD if you've got it. So a second SSD, just set that as system managed size as well. Once it's been done, it says to the drive in front of it, it says system managed. Once it's done that, click OK. You might be notified that these changes need a restart to take effect, and that's fine. We'll do that in the end of the video. Okay, I don't want you guys to restart every time it asks you to restart. Just for now, don't restart. So click OK, then click apply, then OK again, and it'll ask you to restart now or later, and click restart later. Now what I want you guys to do here is to absolutely clean up and streamline your startup, because Windows might have a lot of bloatware on there and a lot of crap that starts up every time Windows boots up. So it slows your boot up a lot because it's running all these programs in the background. So by doing this, you'll be deleting all those programs from starting up. So it's very simple. Go onto the taskbar down the bottom, right click on it where there's no programs like I have, then go to Task Manager, or you can just simply do Control Alt Delete and go to Task Manager there. Then I want you guys to go to Startup tab, and these are the programs that are running in the background. Now for example, Apple Push, I don't need that. I've disabled it. BitTorrent, Discord, I don't want these to boot when I'm booting. Spotify Helper, Update and all that, I've turned them off. Yeah, so you need to minimize it to the least amount of items to start up. So for example, Windows Defender, leave that on. Everything else you don't need, just turn them off. Mostly a rule of thumb here is if you know what it is and you're happy to turn it off, turn it off. If you don't know what it is, don't mess around with it. So for example, I've got Battle.net, I've got Steam, and I've got Epic Games as well, launcher. I've actually turned them all off. I will only use them when I need to. So I don't want my PC to every time boot and all of them booting as well. So I've turned them all off. They don't even show up here because they've been turned off inside this app. And that way, when for example, I need to play Fortnite, I'll launch Epic Games. Now, how to disable is you just click on the app that you want disabled, and down the bottom right hand corner is a disable button. You press disable, and re-enabling is like that as well. And then in status, it'll say disable. So what you want to do here is disable as many as you can, but I will stress again that if you don't know what it is, leave it alone. After that's done, leave that screen. Now we'll be making sure that Windows is well optimized in the next step with the hardware you've got. To do this, we're going to go back to the bottom left hand side and just going to search for msconfig. System configuration app will come up. After this has come up, go to your boot tab, select your Windows boot directory, go to advanced options, and what I want you guys to do is click number of processes. So this will give Windows access to as many processes as you have. For example, I've got 6 on my other system, I've got 16. You can get it up to 32 on a system for consumers. So what I want you guys to do is click number of processes on, and then click on the drop down there and get it to the maximum amount. You might have 16, you might have 32, so go and select the highest amount you can. After that, go to OK. And something else I would like to also do is say no GUI boot. Okay, click that for me as well. After you've done that, what I want you guys to do is click on timeout. Now my system, when I first did this on my new system, it was around 30 seconds. Okay, if you've got a really modern system, it's very cool and things like that, have it running at about 3 seconds. However, 3 to 5 is what I recommend. If your system gets really old and things like that, you can set it to 5 seconds, but that's the maximum you should set it as. After you've done these two, click apply and then click OK. Now what this will do is drastically reduce your boot time. Now again, it'll ask you whether you want to restart or not. Say exit without restarting, as we're going to do that at the end of of the video. The next step is to make sure that Windows sound is working really well and it's not using resources where it shouldn't be. So what I would do is first of all make sure that there's no processing problems and things like that. So what that will do is that might introduce stutters into your games and programs that you're using. So also having some FPS issues. So to do this, what I want you guys to do is go to the bottom right hand side this time. On the speaker item, right click and then go into Sounds tab. Once the Sounds tab opens, I want you to go to the Playback tab and I want you to find out what you're actually using as your speakers, which normally has a green tick to it, for example, like mine. So once you've found that, you can either click on it and click Properties or right click and then click Properties. Now you might have the Enhancements tab. If you do, go into it. If you don't worry about it, not a biggie here. And what I want you guys to do is all you have to do is just disable all sound effects. That's all you have to do in this tab. Now if for some reason the video cuts out once you've done this, close the web browser, whatever you're using, Edge or Chrome or whatever, close it, open it up again, come back to this video and continue. You should have your sound again. Press apply, go into Advanced tab, and what I want you guys to do is click on the sampling rate and go to the lowest, which is CD quality. It's 16-bit 44100 Hertz. Once you've done that, select it, click apply, then click OK, then OK out of this completely. Now next step, we're going into the most power efficient power plan Windows is running. So what I want you guys to do is go down to the bottom left hand side again and search for the word power. Now it doesn't matter what it's saying as long as it's got this green battery icon with the little plug around it. Now after you've clicked on this icon, go on to power options up top, and then what I want you guys to do is, you might not have high performance selected. What I want you guys to do is show additional power plans, or show additional plans, and it should show you high performance mode, and I want you guys to click high performance mode. What we are going to do is actually play around with high performance mode and set it to optimize with your computer. So click change plan settings. Now these two options, you can do whatever you want. For example, for this computer I just game on it, I've set it to 3 hours for the screen to turn off and put the computer to sleep to never. However, on my other computer where I download stuff and things like that, I've got the screen turn off to 2 minutes and put the computer to sleep in 30 minutes. So you can play around with it, and this will save you a lot of battery life as well. Now what I want you guys to do is go down to change advanced power settings, and you should be presented with a hard drive. Turn off hard drive after, and it should be around 30 minutes or whatever like that. So, or 20 minutes. I think mostly it's around 20 minutes, but what I want you guys to do is set it to 0. Okay, after you've set it to 0, I want you to scroll down. Now once you're all the way down the bottom, I want you guys to select processor power management and then click on minimum processor state and push it from, maybe it's around 0 to 100%, and also go to maximum power state, and it should be around 100%. If it's not, make sure that's around 100% as well, and then I want you to click apply and OK. After you've done all this, click on save changes. Make sure you click on save changes before you exit out of this tab. Now the next step is to do with your Windows registry editor. This is to further optimize your computer so you can get the absolute most smoothest experience and also the maximum FPS in games. So what I want you guys to do is go down to the left hand corner again and search for regedit, or another way is to just search for run and click run and then regedit, and it'll just open the app for you. Now this screen is your Windows registry editor. Straight off it might look a bit daunting, but don't worry, if you follow this guide to the T, you wouldn't have a problem. It's very straightforward. So first of all, what I want you guys to do is click on H key, which is hotkey, H key local machine, and double click on that. After you've clicked into local machine, what I want you guys to do is go down and find software, double click software, then go and look for M for Microsoft and double click Microsoft. Then you really need to scroll down to Windows and find Windows NT, double click on Windows NT, then go to current version, double click current version, and then scroll down again all the way to the multimedia section. Once you've selected that, I want you to double click on it and go into system profile. But what I want you guys to do is click system profile just once, and on the right hand side you should have something like network throttling and system responsiveness. What I want you guys to do is double click on network throttling, and whatever value is in there, just delete it out and replace it with 7 Fs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then click OK. Then what I want you guys to do is go into system responsiveness, and again delete whatever's in there out and just put 0 and OK yourself. Now next step, what I want you guys to do is double click tasks, and after you've double clicked system profile, I want you to double click tasks and then single click games. In games, what I want you guys to do is set GPU priority by double clicking GPU priority and set it to 8. Then what I want you to do is set priority to 6. So double click that. Sometimes it might be on 0 or 2 or whatever. I want you guys to set it on 6. The next is scheduling category, and double click that under priority and set that whatever value is there, medium or whatever, delete it and set it to high with a capital H, IGH, just like me, and then click OK again. After you've done all that, that's it. Simple, straightforward. All you got to do is click the X button up top right hand corner and you're out of Registry Editor, and you've just made sure your computer is running to the best response time and the smoothest experience. Now from this point onwards, I'd like to do some advanced system maintenance, which is really easy to perform but very, very important. Just follow this video, you wouldn't have a problem with it. So I want you to go into the search bar again to the bottom left hand side and type %app_data% and just click enter, and you should come up to this. So what I want you guys to do is click app data, get out of that folder. So you're sitting in roaming, go into app data, and then I want you to go to local and come all the way down to find something that is called temp, TEMP. Double click temp. Now once you've double clicked it, this is where all your temporary files are dumped. So whatever installations you've done and crash reports and Windows updates and all this stuff, it's being dumped here. Okay, what I want you guys to do is click on any file and then Control A, or just right click and select all of it, or just drag and select all of it and then just delete. After you've deleted it, I want you to empty the recycle bin. Now can you guys please make sure after you've done this to comment below and let me know how much space you got rid of. In some cases I've seen people get rid of about 50 gigabytes, which is just crazy on a Windows only drive. And what I want you guys to do is run this about once a month straight after you've updated your Windows, updated your drivers for your GPU, CPU and things like that, and your motherboard. Just go in here and just delete all the temp files and get rid of it. Now sometimes you might be met with a action can't be performed, and all I want you to do is click do this for all current items and just skip it. What this means is basically that that item is in use and can't be deleted at the moment, and just skip it for every folder that comes up. So realistically, those are the only files that are used by your computer. For most people, you wouldn't come up against that. They'll just get rid of all the files in there, which means you've just had a lot of junk just sit there for nothing, and you've just deleted it and saved yourself a lot of space. What I want you guys to do is empty recycle bin after this and just click yes. Now the next step is to further optimize and clean your machine up. Now what I want you guys to do is to make sure that your hard drive is absolutely running to the maximum of its potential without any bloatware and leftover temp files or error files that might slow you down. Okay, so you can do this by first of all going down the left hand corner and searching for this PC. What you can do is just go down and find File Explorer down here and just click on it. And if you don't have that, type search for this PC and just press enter, and it should open something like this. Now what I want you guys to do is your local drive where Windows is, normally it has a Windows icon next to that drive. I want you to go to that drive and right click on it. Go down to properties, go into general tab. Now what I want you to do is click on disk cleanup. Now in disk cleanup, I want you to go through all these files and click all of them. Okay, after you've clicked all of them, click on clean up system files, which will just clean up all these system files that you don't need anymore, which wouldn't take too much longer, but depends on your system. It can take about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Now after you've done that, click make sure you've selected all of them, then click OK. Once you click OK, you'll come up against this little message saying delete files. You want to say yes, I want to delete files. So for me, for one of my really awesome systems, which is completely new, when I run this for the first time, it took about 15 to 20 minutes. So give give this time. Now, once this process has been completed, I want you guys to jump into the Tools tab. And what I want you to do is run some error checking. So click check on here. So it'll scan the drive. Now, the good thing about this is if it comes up against any errors, it'll fix it itself. So mine didn't, and if yours doesn't, just close it off. Otherwise, if it does, it'll just clean it itself. Now, after you've closed this, get out of that and repeat it exactly the same on your other hard drive. Now, another thing what I want you guys to do is if you've got a hard disk, not an SSD, okay, do not do this on an SSD. This is just for a hard drive. So on a hard drive, what I want you guys to do is again go into your Tools tab after you've gone into properties and things like that. And what I want you guys to do is go into the optimize and defragment your drive, and do that once a year, okay? But do not do it on SSDs. It'll destroy the life of an SSD. So once you go into it, you'll be able to see all your drives here. So I'm going to go to just the hard disk, not solid state hard disk. Select it, and then I'll analyze it. Then after you've highlighted it again, after it's done 0% fragmented, 10% or 100% fragmented, after it's done, I want you guys to click on optimize. Once all of it has been done, make sure to give this one a lot of time, because it can take, on depending on how big your hard drive is and how much information you've got stored in there and whether you've run this before or not. So if it's your first time, it might take a long time. Just make sure you've given yourself a long time. So if you don't want to do it right now, don't do it right now, come back to it later, but do come back to it. And what I would personally recommend is to run it overnight, or when you're not going to use the PC for a day or something like that. It will take a lot of time to do that, to optimize your computer. Once you've done that, click close, and then just click OK and get out of this. Now, at this point, what I want you guys to do is just restart your computer. After you've restarted your computer and given it a refresh, what I want you guys to do is come into the search again, and what I want you guys to search for is command prompt. After you've searched for command prompt, what I want you guys to do is once the app comes up, right click on it and run it as administrator, and it should open a black window like this. Now, I'll put all the commands in the description so you can just copy and paste it, or you can watch this video and just type it as is. But just to make sure you don't get it wrong and you get it absolutely right, what I would like you guys to do is just copy it from the description. So first command I want you guys to do is just scanning your drive and repairing anything like that. So sometimes, even though you've done a scan through this PC, sometimes for me it didn't come up there, it came up here. So make sure you run this command prompt. So after you've run it, the good thing about this is if you come across any errors, it'll fix it itself and just come back to the command prompt. Again, it might take longer or shorter depending on the system. Once this verification scan is finished, now if you don't have any integrity violations, it'll just give you that message, and if you do, it'll just go ahead and repair it itself. Make sure any of these commands that you run to let them finish what they're doing. Don't cancel out of it up top, okay? Don't do that until it's finished. Or running another command or opening another window and running another thing. Don't do it one command prompt at a time. Once it's done, go into the description below, get the second command and paste it in. After you've done it, click it. Unless if there's any issues, you should see this screen, and if again you do, it'll just fix it itself. After you've done these two command prompts, what I want you guys to do is just click up top and exit out of the command prompt. Now guys, just remember at the start of this video, I got you guys to create a system restore point. So if for any reason your computer is not performing better and it's not really good and things like that, if you have any bugs or any problems, what I want you guys to do is use that system restore point and go back that. The next step involves in downloading and installing some optimizing apps. To this point, you didn't need to install anything. It's all on Windows based, but if you want to, you can go ahead and look at that. The very first one I use is CCleaner, okay, which is a really small program. Another one is MSI Afterburner, okay. This is not a guide on MSI Afterburner how to use it, but it's a really powerful tool to really unlock your GPU and push it to the extreme. And the third program is called CPU Core Parking Manager version 3 or version whatever you have. So I've got the description link in the description below. You guys can have a look at that. So first of all, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go to CCleaner. Now you can download the free version of this, not a problem. It'll work just fine. you can go to the link that I've got in the description, click on it. Most guys would have this. Kudos to you guys, and you guys can keep running this. However, if it's new, go into free download, click on free download. So on the left hand side is your free one, so go all the way down and click on that download button. After you've opened it up, install it, and once it's installed, and click run CCleaner. Now you can go and unclick all the, if you've got Google Chrome, go into applications and then unclick everything for Google Chrome if you want. However, I don't, and just run analyze. After it's run analyze, run cleaner, and it'll clean out. At times it cleans up about 3 to 4 gigs of junk. Now another thing that is really useful for CCleaner is it gets rid of your sensitive data as well. So if there's an option in there where you can delete a file. So for example, if it's got your banking details, or if it's your family photos that you want to sell the hard drive, or you're going to give the hard drive away, you can run it on it. So what it does, it writes on the same photo, because what happens with hard drive is once you say something has to be deleted, it doesn't actually delete it, it just marks it for deletion. And when the hard drive is running out of space, that's when it gets written over. So it might not get written over completely if it's a big file. So what CCleaner would do is write over it 7 times to make it unreadable. Some other stuff that you might see on CCleaner once you've run the cleaner is it'll tell you how many privacy trackers that have been removed, junk files that have been removed as well. Now what I want you guys to do is run this about once a month or once every 2 months, and it'll keep your computer running clean and with the least. Another really useful section for this app that I like is you go down to tools section and uninstall. Some of the apps that you can't uninstall are available to uninstall here. For example, Apple software update, Apple application support. This is not an Apple device, this is a PC that I've built, so I don't need those. So you can go ahead and delete useless applications like that. After you've done that, I just want you guys to exit out of it and go into the second link in the description just below CCleaner, which is for CPU parkour. Once you click it, you should come to a page like this. What I want you guys to do is go down to the bottom of the page where you'll have a download application file. I want you guys to click on that. It'll download a zip onto your hard drive or wherever you want it. I want you to unzip it, and now once it's extracted, double click on it and just run next, accept it, next, and leave it wherever it wants to install, and just install it. After it's been installed, just launch it. And before I apply anything or tell you what you need to do, is you'll come across this screen. So what this app does is it's very, very powerful app. So for example, Windows might only use 20% of your CPU power or your CPU capabilities when it's doing commands and things like that. What this does, it actually lets you give full control of your CPU, full resources of your CPU to Windows. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is go into system power plan and set it to high performance. Go to core parking index and drag that blue pointer all the way to 100%. Go to turbo boosting index, drag it to 100%, and go to frequency scaling index and drag it to 100%. This way you can ensure that your computer is using all the CPU resources that it might need, and just click apply, and this will give you a really good smooth experience, not only when you're using apps that might use all the cores and things like that on your CPU, but also gaming as well. Another thing that I would like you guys to do is, if you're gamers, is first of all download MSI Afterburner. I will be doing a video on how to overclock and optimize your GPU for overclocking, so please do comment below and let me know if you're interested in that and what you would like to see, and if you've done something and where you got stuck, so I can make a video around that. But what I want you guys to do is, from this point onwards, is to do more with gaming. So first of all, if you've got NVIDIA drivers for your GPU, I would like you guys to go into the link below, and it'll bring you to a screen where you click on download, which is for the G4 Experience automatic driver updater. So what it does is it just runs a check on your system and makes sure what kind of GPU you've got, and installs the latest drivers on that. So to do the same thing for the AMD side of things, I've got a link for AMD GPU holders as well. Just go in there and click the automatic updater, and it'll let you update it. Now if you want to optimize your AMD GPUs, I've got out a video on that lets you really optimize your AMD GPU for gaming, so you can look at that as well. It's in the description with the link. Alright guys, that's basically it from me. I hope this works out for you guys and you can see really good system improvement. Let me know in the comments what you thought about my video, and also any ideas or suggestions that for any future videos. If you like this video, please do drop a like on it. If you know someone who will benefit from it, please do share with them. And if you would like to really help out this channel, I've got a link to my Patreon account. Please do check it out as well. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you guys have a great day. Take good care. Bye bye.